I wanted to finish this off by doing something a little bit different. You know, this is Politifest, and the idea of this event is to get people involved and tell people how important their civic community is, how important the political community is to their lives. So what I'd like to do is pass it over to you guys and give you each 2 minutes, not to give us a stump speech, not to tell us why people should vote for you, but to explain to people why who is on the school board is so important and why people should pay attention to it, come to school board meetings, and just be involved in the political process. I know that I'm kind of throwing that on you, but you should all be able to speak to that. So why don't we go the other way around this time? We'll start with you, Mark.
I got involved in this whole election by looking at the school district and seeing that my daughter is not getting the best education as possible. I took it upon myself to go to the registrar of voters and sign up. I didn't have any big backers. I had nobody, just me, my wife, and my children. The reason why I did it was because ever since I was a child, I'm a first-generation American, my family has instilled in me the importance of an education. I need to make sure that my children and the 135,000 children at San Diego Unified are given the best education possible. It's nothing more than that. This is real simple. It's virtually a volunteer position. I have the background, I have the experience, I have the qualifications to do the job. If I believed that the school board was doing a great job, I wouldn't run. I would say this is outstanding. But if our children are truly going to be competitive in a global economy where they may have to bid on projects with people in China, Germany, the Philippines, they have to be educated. And they're not going to get an education in 161 days. That is just ridiculous, it's absurd, and it should have never happened. I understand there's problems with the budget, but why don't we try this something novel? Why don't we base all of our decisions on what's best for students? We can support teachers, and we can support administrators. Let's make all of our decisions on what's best for children.
Thank you, Mark. Bill, why should people pay attention to the school board, Bill?
The public education system in this country is one of the last pieces of democracy. It is what keeps all of us together in terms of what we define as America. And when our public schools are failing our children, it goes directly to the democracy of this country. Now, people can argue, well, you know, that's the way it goes. I don't have to worry about it. My kids are grown, and mine are. But think about this. We are in the 21st century, and our educational system should reflect the 21st century. And if it doesn't reflect the 21st century, and our children are not getting a 21st century education, then how does this country, that's been around for over 250 years, how does it function and be competitive with the other industrialized countries of the world? You know, we have to tell our kids the truth. The truth is our children aren't competing with the kid down the street. They're not competing with Joe Blow at high school next door. They are competing globally, folks. And so we have to do this, and we have to do it now. We can't wait. Our children can't wait. And if we want any kind of a future for this country, in terms of the kinds of things that we know that are important, we have to change the system, and we have to change it now.
Thank you, Bill. On to you, Richard.
Well, let me take the question on two levels. One is, I think, the most important level, which is why do people need to engage and be involved in making sure that our schools are successful? That's the most important issue. I mean, look, the action is in the school. If we want our students to achieve, to be competitive in the world, We as parents need to get involved with our own kids, but we also need to get involved in our schools and make sure that we're helping other kids. Our teachers and our principals need to be working collaboratively, setting very high standards and expectations for each other and pushing each other. Our students need to do their job. And that means buckling down, putting away the video game, putting away the text messaging, and focusing on studying. And our community, we need to do our job and make sure that our schools have the resources that they need to actually give a decent opportunity for our kids to learn. It's about all of us coming together and doing our part. In terms of why the school board matters, the school board matters because you're either going to have people on the school board who understand that and say that what our job is in this partnership is to make sure that we're fighting for the resources that our schools and kids need, make sure that we're listening to our parents and our teachers and our students and our principals and the people who are doing the work, and then making sure that when we're faced with these kinds of incredibly difficult decisions that we've seen for the past 4 years and that we will continue to see, that we do more than simply stand up and grandstand and act like politicians always act, not really invest ourselves in doing any problem solving, but telling everybody what we think you want to hear. It's about digging in and solving problems. For the past 4 years, we've seen the worst budget crisis, the worst budget cuts that this school district has ever seen. We've balanced our budget every year. We've come to agreement with all of our unions in order to do that, and we've seen our student achievement scores rise well above where they ever have been.
Thanks, Richard. John.
Okay, I agree with Bill when he said that public education really is the foundation of our democracy. And we really need to work on the basis of consensus, cooperation, and collaboration. And we need to have people there who are able to do that. Now, when you have someone who says, let's read something on the internet and says, I have it documented, because you can print anything out from the internet on a piece of paper. That's not the kind of decision making we need. We have to make very difficult decisions, very unpopular decisions. I was endorsed by the teachers union 4 years ago. Within 1 to 2 years, I was public enemy #1 of the teachers union because I was not lock, stock, and barrel with what they wanted. There was a very militant fringe in the teachers union, and there are a lot of other special interests. And I know that that's one of the ones that Mr. Powell is quoting, and Camille Zambro, in terms of saying that there are naysayers on all sides, that we're doing too much or doing too little with the unions. We all need to work together to solve these problems. We need to collaborate, and we need someone who can do that. I have been endorsed by the most liberal member of the school board, who is Richard Barrera, and I've also been endorsed by the most conservative member of the school board, who I can work with, who is Scott Barnett. That's what we need, not someone that just says, I will do this. You need to get 3 votes.
Well, thanks, guys. We'll talk about talk about engagement. This is a great event. I think it's wonderful to see all of you guys out there. I wanted to say thank you very much to all four of you guys for showing up today and for telling us about why this is important. Personally, I'm going to go and engage with a pint of beer in the beer garden. Hope you guys stick around. Thanks very much.